It's outside of business hours. There's no one to call. My desk. It's early. The streets are as empty as the tips jar at Meg's Diner. Back at Mac's. Another day, another nickel.
Towel time.
How about that Freddie Creel guy? I bet they had to slide him under the pearly gates. Do you believe it? I'm not taking any more of your bets. You don't pay and you're a lousy loser. Finished. You got my nickel? Have a nice day, Scott.
July 30. Morning edition. How about this heat? A record for July. Can't argue with that. It's been hotter than a torch singer's lullaby, and drier than a martini that's 99% gin. How about this heat?
Hooey. It's hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk.
I think Meg's tried that already. Tell me about Dan Small.
Scott, I told you twice already, I want to cut your hair and not your tongue.
I thought I'd better stop the questions. I like my throat without a smile. Back at Meg's. What does not kill me makes me stronger. Donuts and coffee, thanks. Damn. I should have saved some to unblock my drain. I'm full. I'll save this for later. I'm full. I'll save this for later. Same old news. How about this heat? Tell me about Dan Small. Tell me about Freddie Creel.
Where's the tip?
Where's the service? I was back at the newspaper office. You wouldn't read about it. Hello, Frankie. How you doing?
Better than you. You look sick. You eating properly?
Yeah. Hey, come eat with me.
No thanks, no time. Besides, I thought you were still drinking your lunches.
How about this heat?
It's not hot enough to melt the editor's heart.
Tell me about Freddie Creel.
The Creel murder? That story's a month old. It's all in the morgue.
What have you got on Freddie Creel? Seems that Freddie Creel was arrested a couple of times for minor offenses, but the big stop press was his death. On June 15th, Freddie lost a fight with a crusher at the O'Brien Foundry. Thumbs Mackenzie was arrested and charged with Creel's murder. Freddy was survived by a widow. There's no obit. I guess he wasn't a good citizen. Tell me about Louise Creel.
She wasn't very cooperative when we tried to get a human interest angle on the late Freddy. She seems all right, just closed-mouthed. Pity she married a creep. All the good-looking dames seem to make that same mistake.
Not you.
Yeah, but it was a close call.
Tell me about Thumbs Mackenzie.
Old news, Scott.
What have you got on Thumbs Mackenzie? Thumbs Mackenzie has been in and out of jail a dozen times on standover offenses. He's there right now, charged with tipping one Frederick Creel headfirst into an industrial crusher. No bail. Apparently, Thumbs and Freddy used to be friends. What have you got on Louise Creel?
Nothing.
Ciao, Scott. That's Italian for shut the door behind you.
Louise Creel's apartment block. A nice place. It's probably full of nice people with nice cats and nice dogs. A door. I'm used to having them slammed in my face. Louise Creel stood 5'8" and 8.7 on the Richter scale. She had legs that wouldn't quit. I figured she'd be exhausting to be around. I'm Scott Anger. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for Dan Small.
Well, you won't find him here, Mr. Anger. But come on in. Handsome strangers are all too rare these days. Make yourself at home, Mr. Anger.
I'd like to ask you some questions, Mrs. Creel.
I'm sure you would, Mr. Anger. Can I call you Scott?
I don't think so. Then I'll be calling you Lulu, you'll be calling me Scotty, and then we'll be running away together.
That's quite an imagination you have there, Mr. Anger.
How about this heat?
Is someone paying you to ask me silly questions?
No, I ask silly questions on my own time. Tell me about Freddy Creel.
My husband was a man, Mr. Anger. Not a good one or a bad one. He deserved better than he got.
I don't think so. He got you.
Thank you, Scott.
What did your husband do exactly, Mrs. Creel?
Nothing much. He inherited. Some from his family and some from me. I think he had other ways of making money, but he never talked them over with me.
Tell me about Thumbs Mackenzie.
I hope he burns. I hope they fry him to a crisp.
Yeah, sunny side up. So why do you think he killed your husband?
He said that Frederick owed him some money. That's a lie. Frederick would have told me. I'd never seen the man before.
Tell me about yourself.
You first.
I'm Scott Anger, self-employed as an investigator. Not married, no pets, children, or ulcers that I know of.
The things we don't know are always the most interesting.
You haven't told me about yourself.
No, I haven't, Mr. Anger. But then again, neither have you.
Tell me about Dan Small.
One of my husband's associates. He visited once or twice when Frederick was alive.
When did you last see him?
I don't remember. I don't much care.
You don't like him, Mrs. Creel?
He doesn't like me. Sometimes I wonder if he talked Mackenzie into the murder. Who wants to find Mr. Small?
My client. I can't say more than that, Mrs. Creel.
Of course not. I should have remembered to respect your secrets while you were making free with mine.
Tell me about Angela Donald.
Of course. I remember now. The detective who was with her when she died.
That was me.
I looked for you.
So did I. I found me again. It took a month.
Angela and I were sisters. We had different fathers. Good-looking, worthless heels, the pair of them. I'm not surprised she never told you about me. We couldn't stand each other. We hardly saw each other in the last few years, but since she's been dead, I felt so hollow inside, as if a part of me was dead.
It's locked.
Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, Mr. Anger. I'll get you some ice.
I'm sure she won't miss this.
You're a creep! Just like Freddy and Thumbs and cops and salesmen and pimps and lawyers and all the rest of them. You're all alike! Get out! Get out before I call the cops!
Now, Mrs. Creel, let's not get
Are you going to leave or do I have to make you dance?
I was just going. Good night, Mrs. Creel.
You lousy creep!
Nobody's ever really pleased to see a private eye, especially when he starts prying. The trail hadn't gone cold, but Louise Creel had. A decanter. A nice supply of booze for a person living alone. I should know. Actually, thanks but no thanks, Mrs. Creel. Alcohol and I are currently undergoing a trial separation.
Didn't they give you visiting rights?
Yeah, but I sold them. Holiday snaps. Or maybe not. Here's one of Louise standing out front of the First National Bank down on Main. It's not one of the 7 wonders of the world. I think the interest here was not in the architecture. Radio. Either that, or there's an orchestra practicing next door. a chair, a cigarette stand, no thanks, they make me cough.
Oh, I'm sorry, Scott.
That's okay. Most things in this world make me cough. And call me Mr. Anger, Mrs. Creel.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Anger. Where were we?
What do you know about the diamond robbery at the First National?
Oh, Mr. Anger. I'm worried that Frederick might have been mixed up in that business. He never told me anything, but I remember he took some photographs of me outside the bank. I don't know more than that. Can't we just let the dead rest in peace?
We can, but the police usually don't.
What are you looking for, Mr. Anger? The bedroom?
I won't take up any more of your time, Mrs. Creel.
You're welcome to, Mr. Anger. A widow can get lonely.
So can a detective.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Anger. I've never met anyone in this whole rotten business that was so polite. Do come and see me again.
Good night, Mrs. Creel. Well, she seemed to like me, but I didn't learn much. I need to get a better look around the joint without Mrs. Creel watching. When she's looking right at me, somehow I don't much care where Dan Small has got to. The jail, built to keep undesirables out of public view. Some of the undesirables are on the wrong side of the bars. The smart ones. I asked to see Thumbs McKenzie. I was taken to the visiting room, and then they let Thumbs in. I had to stop myself from throwing him a peanut.
I don't get visitors. Who are you?
Name's Scott Anger. I need some information. I'm hoping you could help.
Maybe. I like you. You're not here to set me up. I'll level with you. What do you want to know?
I think that helped his memory, assuming he has one. How about this heat?
What do I care? I'm stuck in here.
Tell me about Dan Small.
Are you a friend of his?
Maybe. I haven't met him yet.
When you do, I want a word with him. He's a scrawny little chicken, but he's got plenty in the brains department.
Do you know where he is?
If I did, I wouldn't be sitting here. Me and him and Freddie Creel, we pulled a job about a month ago. Now, Freddie is dead, and I'm in here. You tell me where Dan is, Seamus?
Tell me about Angela Donald.
That nightclub singer. She was a classy number. I was sure sorry to hear someone gave her the business.
Tell me about Freddie Creel.
I wish he was alive, so I could break both his legs. I thought he was an okay guy, and it turned out he was a no-good, lousy stiff. He called me to say to meet him for the payoff after the job. He said I was lucky to get 10% when we'd agreed one trade. I got there, and Freddie was dead. Then the police showed.
What do you know about the diamond robbery at the First National?
I heard about that. A nice haul for somebody, huh? Look, I might know something about that, but it'd have to be worth my while. You get me? Find Dan Small, and the three of us can have a little chat.
Tell me about Louise Creel.
She's a real looker. Her sister Angela was a looker too.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm a good guy, mister. I don't make trouble. I stick up for my friends. Someone set me up and I'm taking the fall, but I ain't complaining.
I'm clean out of questions for now. The wire mesh. It might hold thumbs, but it might not. There's just enough room to pass something flat down the side. You could probably fit Freddie Creel through there. Thumb's story had the honest ring of a man too stupid to lie convincingly. I was inclined to believe him. But if he didn't kill Freddie, who did? I can't hear any machinery. I'd say it's closed. I'll try again during working hours. People breaking into murder scenes often get arrested as suspects. Cop stations are all in either small square boxes or large square boxes. Ours is large on account of our citizens' natural tendency towards high spirits. Denton?
Make it snappy or I'll bust you for vagrancy.
How about this heat?
Do I look like I got nothing to do except your work?
Thanks. I better get a refill.
The police notice board. Who's on duty, who's on leave, and who's on top in the department-wide Tiddlywinks tournament. A piece of paper. I can't read it from here. A citation. Officer Wilson is getting a medal for bravery. Good for him. I've read it. Tell me about Freddie Creel.
A small-time hood with big-time ambitions. Too bad for him. Ended up pitched head first into a crusher by one of his business partners.
Tell me about Louise Creel.
She's never done anything, except marry the wrong guy.
What do you know about the diamond robbery at the First National?
Sparkle debarkle. That's a touchy subject around here. A lot of money went missing, and no sign of it anywhere.
Tell me about Thumbs McKenzie.
A two-bit thug who likes to use his hands. We nailed him at the scene of his last crime, the murder of Freddie Creel. Not a pretty sight.
What have you got on Dan Small?
I'll get it.
Nothing on file. We never had any reason to bring him in. Stay out of trouble.
What kind?
All kinds.
Back at my office.
Good night, partner.
Likewise.